Fairness, when I'm presenting, I dey give context,
background,
bro.
Yeah.
So although maybe it's just a change, but then before I will explain finish, you know why I did it that way, right? So one of my recent designs that I did.
Hello guys, welcome to another episode of JunkieTalks, and on today's episode we'll be talking about investing. Did you laugh?
Nah, my boy.
We'll be talking about investing in yourself as a designer, right? I mean, mainly UX designer, but we'll probably touch on other fields as well. This is something we've done in the past when we used to record audio and very bad audio that time. Then I disturb this voice plus my bed sound. So I'm really yeah. Investing in yourself. But before we get into that, we are going to, Sam is going to tell us what is happening at the Design Junkie. So today's stand-up is not just an individual, but as a team, what's cooking. So, Sam.
Yeah, so a few things have been cooking. One of them being, I'm sure you'd have seen some Easter eggs by now. Any of you would have spotted that QR code and whatever Easter eggs that we put out there. You already know. But yeah, we're organizing an event in August 3rd, 2024. It's a collaboration between ourselves and the Friends of Figma Accra guys, Derek, Hakeem, and the rest of the team. So yeah, just watch out. We are very deep into the planning phases. It's happening at Point HQ, and build the owners of that building. Our partners. Building. Rhymes, my nigga. So the owners of that, the building, they are partners, venue partners. Who are some of our other partners?
Yeah, so friends of Figma.
Yeah, we already mentioned the Friends of Figma.
Yeah, and also True. I mean, everyone needs food.
Yeah.
So we are partnering with a couple of vendors that will help us on that day.
Yeah. I'm sure by now or in the coming days, you hear who we are partnering with and all that. And also shout out to Transvo, Bernard. He's helping us with the logo and the brand.
Yeah.
So if you see the logo and you like it, shout out to Ben. He
Yeah,
helped us
man.
with that. So yeah, you see a lot more information. You probably might have already seen a few before now. So just watch out. It's going to be wild. There are so many amazing people coming.
Yeah.
Any one key thing that you expect? You mentioned food, but in terms of activities, one thing you can bank on.
Yeah, so should I go?
Yeah.
All right, so aside that, there will be games we are planning on making.
Ampy.
Oh, Ampy, so fine. But yeah, there will be games. We are thinking of making the whole experience intimate. And also workshop, which is something that I'm probably sure you've not seen in most design conferences. So especially in Ghana. So that's something we are planning on doing. We have more workshops where you have that experience of, how to do stuff, get into contact with experts that are actually doing the actual thing in their field. So yeah, workshops, games, speakers, we'll bring in speakers too. We have a couple of them lined up. I'll not give you the gist now, but then just so you know, that's something we are also planning, making the whole experience intimate.
I love you, baby.
Kaboom.
Anyway, so
One more thing. So it's a full day event. I think we forgot to mention it's starting at 10 till 6. But yeah, you can go on and on. There's going to be keynote sessions and workshops, just like Jeffrey said.
Yep.
And there will be a dedicated time for networking. So it's not just going to be an afterthought like some events do. There's going to be a dedicated time block for networking before and after the main keynote and workshop session. So please, this is our first, and hopefully we are going to do this for many years to come.
Yep.
Please support us because we need you as much as you need to hear the speakers coming. So peace. Go to finaldesignconf.com. Yeah, and you get all the information you need there.
Boogie.
Maybe I'm missing.
So August 3rd, 10 a.m. to 6 or to mommy calls.
No GMT, we beg you. No Kanaman time.
You know they do GMT.
They play.
Point HQ. I'm gonna be there.
Because I mean bad.
Who's that video here?
I'm gonna be there.
Then you go back. Oh.
So make it by intention.
Yes, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna you ban that guy. Mr. Please put it for the video. All right, let's get into today's topic. So investing in yourself as a designer, UX designer, because we all here will be UX designers. 4, 5. I do design for like 4, 5 years. So I'm sure all of us can attest to the fact that the growth has been, it changed. Definitely from where you started to where you are now is just like big difference and all that. How do you do that? Like you're a designer, because sometimes you have like work going on, the contracts, the freelance gigs, your full-time role and things coming up, your personal things you're also doing, but then you have to make sure you're staying on top of your game, doing industry standard stuff and all that. So how you approach that, Mr. Jeffrey DeGrafton, senior designer?
Be me, I put for my bio. If be this guy will put for my bio.
Yeah, proudly senior designer.
You get it. Oh, no, the other one. So, the question again.
How you prioritize growth, basically, alongside everything that's happening in your work, your contracts, your personal life, and all that.
Yeah.
You can use your personal journey to touch on that.
Yeah, I think it's you being intentional about everything that you do. Because sometimes most people, they freestyle them. At that point, they see what they work for them. So then do them small. And most of the times it's because of the money, which probably I'm sure we'll talk about. Because the money, that be what most people, they put out there. So the people eventually enter into that field just to make that money. And when they enter and they realize, Charlie, the money know they come now. And that form. You get it. And that's where they try to move on. For me, I knew this was something I wanted to do, mainly because I researched into it and I noticed it was one design, was also in the tech space. Plus also there was some bit of psychology in there, which I also find interesting. So that's where I got the interest for. And I think I've shared this before, where I was doing front end when I started building websites. That was then I did do. Then later on I do some React JS, Node.js. That was my trajectory at that time, because I wanted to do something in the tech field. Right. But then one time Sam reached out. Then he told me to make a look into that. That time then I still did campus. Make a look into UX design. And that's where I found out that, okay, this will be what he did mean. Then I'm like, why not? This be something I would try. Initially, I was trying to do both front end, then the design. But I noticed the design, there was more to design. You get, especially UX design. Yeah. I noticed it was a lot, like UX writing. Even UX writing in itself, right now, the research bits, also understand, like I said, psychology bits when it comes to design and all that. Charlie, I realize now there's something I want to actually focus on full time. So yeah, that's how everything went. It was just me doing a side gig and also being intentional about my growth in the space.
And what was the growth like for you?
So I mean, that's where the value, I think, comes in. And the value, sometimes we look at it from a point, most designers have this ego where then they feel, say, yeah, you for pay them this money, no matter what. Me, I tell you, say, me, I don't want this money. So you, the business owner, you don't get any this one than to pay. But then one thing we also forget is the business owner or whoever is reaching out to you will also determine your value, right? Because that be what you go make it a certain amount to pay you. And if they are not seeing that value, or probably they view the design you are offering different, right? Definitely, no matter the amount you go mention, they're not going to mind you, right? For instance, if somebody say, he come to you, say, design website, give them, or build a product, give them. You already get an idea of how the product will cost. You give value of that particular service they come from you. So at that point, if website needs will be 500 cedis, then you tell them to you will take like 10K. Website take now, but because already then put value to your. So sometimes, as much as we do stuff, we also need to consider how we need to share that value right? Let the people that are reaching out to you know the value you are providing. Then you can use that to bargain or say whatever amount that comes into mind. For the good bits, it's like I said, it's me being intentional. Every time they try evaluate myself, doing self-introspection. That is, so say I will not say, okay, am I at the point where I said I will be in 3 months' time? Right? Because that be how they do. Looking at the industry standards, what somebody they do, I they like the way this person they do in sense, right? Okay, how do I get here? Then I start looking at it, break it down, pick up stuff that I need to pick up. If it's writing, and that's why I'm doing more writing, because I want to be at a point where I can articulate my thoughts in writing, not just speaking, but then writing. You know, speaking is different from writing, right? And that's why you see me doing more case studies, because that's why I get to articulate my thoughts on my decision making and my thought process. Do you get it? So for me, it's still intentionality around your craft, whatever you are doing. Evaluate yourself.
Some questions from there, but we'll come back. Sam, I know you asked me to repeat the question.
Yeah, you talk plenty. You talk plenty.
Oh God.
You talk plenty.
I'm like, I said when it comes to investments as a designer, investing in yourself, right? How has it been like for you, considering everything you have to do, you know, work, family, friends, the big contract, your full-time role and all that. Right now, you're a senior designer. You do your Instagram.
So you're
Yeah,
proud.
You can,
proud.
oh yeah, baby. So you can't run away from
I have the
it.
portfolio to back it.
Yes, exactly. You understand? How has like the investment and then the growth be like for you in the last few years?
Yeah, so for me, the way I you see, Henson was saying, he has like where he wants to work to. He has people he looks after. I'm the kind of person who I just works. I don't need take time to evaluate where I am. But then, like when you take pauses every now and then to think about how far you can realize.
Yeah, there's been changes.
Yeah, I go. Yeah, I go. And that's why, I mean, because if it was some time ago, you asked me the senior designer, I'll play it down. But now I'm thinking about it, and I've been in places, worked with other people who, have a lot of experience. I say, nah,
You did
I'm
it.
good.
Yes,
There's no mincing words.
Boy, when you miss now, what's that? Hey, left him kwan.
So yeah, but yeah, for me, it's just Charlie Takashio. This thing, every time I say it, I feel like the only person in this world who understands what I mean by Takashi is Nanache. I don't mean Messiah. Because then he was even telling some guy, Chris, to come and ask me what Takashi means to me. Because he knows, Chris, what that guy is going through. That's the Takashi tell me what he needs. But yeah, Takashi, Charlie, if I feel like I don't know something, I'll learn it. If I feel like I need to know something to get a gig, I'll figure out a way. Even if I want a gig that I feel like I know for a fact this thing I don't know, but I want it. I will take it and do it. Yeah. And I'll do it pepper without you realizing. So it's just that, like, constantly, it comes from Charlie you wanting to feed people. Because if I remember when I was earlier in my career, Charlie, me a coming to me. Me a coming to me. Me pesca to Johnny, me pesca. If I can pesca to data into everything I need to do
to get that.
It's not like I'm looking for quick money shots, because that's what people get confused with. But that's even another conversation. But I know that I have to learn something so I can have something of value that will make me the money that I want.
Yeah.
So deep down there, the money for the whole thing. But yeah, it's just a matter of me wanting to learn everything I can
to get
to the point that I know I want to be at.
What was like that one thing that you noticed? Because you said something like, not to mince words, but say yes, you are good, right? What was that thing you spotted? You say, okay, yeah, there's been growth. I don't know if you get me. For example, you see this plant here. If we come next 2 weeks and it's taller, if you know that there's
It's
been...
dying. That's it. It's dying.
Yeah, I'm just giving an example.
That's it. It's
Why
dying.
you choose your guy?
Why Junkie? Why Junkie?
Guys, please, when I take a video of this, Henson has got a life.
The plant is dying.
He's not taking care of it. Oh, I'm speaking to it. That's why I use that example. Okay.
You people
So next
shy.
next time we can play.
This thing
it
will grow.
Like you
Yeah,
go,
it
you
will
go
grow.
raise up from the dead.
It will grow.
It will grow.
It will grow.
Yeah.
But yeah, what was that one thing that you look at yourself? It's okay. Yeah, this is it in terms of maybe money or I don't know if you get my question. What is that one thing if you look at Sam as a designer?
Yeah, it's not really the money. Like the skill, like it's purely the skill. Right? Because again, recently, like when I look at how I approach things in terms of design, like my thought process, how I go about the workflow, how fast I'm able to pull something off that takes people like weeks. It shocks me. Because for the longest time, I've always been fast, but for the longest time, I feel like maybe I'm skipping some steps. But typically, like everything they get, there's not a lot of back and forth and everything. But people, and I saw this very recently, that made me realize, reach. But
the guy is good.
yeah, people go through all these different steps in a design, like user flow, like research, inspiration, all these things. But still, like the final thing,
You will still say some.
yeah, first of all, in the chair to get the final thing. Secondly, after all the process, the final thing comes.
It's not that. It's not
Yeah,
that.
it will be crisp. There are still some things that are missing in there.
Is it in UX terms or UI?
Both UX and UI.
UI,
Because even though you've done flows and everything, also the flows they've done is just the happy flows. They don't think about the edge cases, the sad flows, all these different things. And that's what just made me come to that realization. I need to give myself a lot more credit. That's why I like 1 Man Thousands episode a lot. Like that's one of my favorite episodes. Like the things he's saying, something I can relate to. Because I feel like I don't give myself a lot of credit. Because I've actually put in the work. Like for a long time. But yeah, I mean, just to cut it short, it's just me. I'm always learning something, and I don't learn from design videos per se. I learn from different sources.
Yeah.
If you watch YouTube documentary, DW documentary, I learn something. Like I learn culture. What's this Asia thing I was talking about, the white and everything, from a documentary. I don't watch. Like I'm not a typical designer who watches design videos, how to do this in Figma, how to interview, how to do this. It's just from these unconventional places, and they work for me. It might not work for you, but me they work for me. That's how I learn. Yeah.
There's the book I was reading, Feel Good Productivity, right? The guy mentioned something about curiosity, and I think from what you're saying, you're just curious. You just want to see something new. And he was like, there was this test that was done, and long story short, the people that were curious to know about that particular thing were able to remember the answers more, kind of like. So one thing I've come to realize is if you're curious about something, you just get good at it somehow. You understand? So yeah, I think that's a good point. Just to go ahead.
Yeah, to touch on the question you asked Sam about how do you get to the realization that you are actually there. I think sometimes it's you collaborating with people, right? So for me, it was when I collaborated with people that I thought, I mean, they had so many, like, when it comes to the years of experience, like 20 years, seniors, principal. But then I had this convo with them, and I noticed I was contributing, like, a lot. And they were
impressed.
Yeah. So that moment, I'm like, minimal. I guess I'm like, for me to have that conversation with people on that level, most of the times, because I'm constantly evaluating myself, I'm so hard on myself. Like, if I do something where, there's still room for improvement, that'd be hard at the view. So at that point, working with people on that caliber, on that level, you notice that actually, Sana, on science, like you really did for, right? And I think that's, from what Sam said, that's what I also got from the fact that, sometimes you have conversations with people or collaborate with people, they do stuff that probably might take you less time or less effort to work on, then you do on a different wavelength. So and for me, that's how I go. Me cancer, but because like I said, you see right now what they do. I feel they're small, so I know they won't give my body that to be comfortable. Do you get it? So yeah, that's about it.
Guys, I think Jesus Christ is coming.
You know is
The storm dances.
All right.
Okrama Yusua. Shasipon Pai na.
Oh god. So yeah, for me, I think I have like a blend of both in the sense that sometimes I'm hard with myself, I kind of plan. Sometimes I'm just going, right? And the times where I'm just going, one thing about me is if I plan too much, I get in my head, then I'm not able to do anything. I feel like that's bad. You know, but just planning, and executing. Not say be any. You understand? So sometimes I have this little book where I make the plan. Okay, I want to do this. I want to get to this. I want to get this. Half people are looking at, but then you look at it, it becomes a lot of things in your head. You're like, we get those. So sometimes I just freestyle and all that. And I think from last year, 4 years ago to now, like you were saying, you collaborate with people. You work in certain places. You talk to certain people. And the credit you give yourself, very, very low. But then these people are seeing you, not, to get into your head and all that, but realize that, I'm doing something right and all that. So, yeah, just invest in a Now, we are talking about investment into yourself and all that. There's definitely the monetary side. There's definitely the skill part and all that. When it comes to the skill side, hey, Jesus Christ. Yes, man. When it comes to the skill part, right? What are some of the things, being personal development, being design side and all that can help you grow as a designer? And this is something we've touched in most of the episodes, but just to bring them together in one.
So for me, growing up, one of the things that I lacked a lot was being able to speak clearly, articulate my thoughts, and yes, be in public and speak in public, present in public. And so I don't think I've said this anywhere, but that was one of the primary things that led me to wanting to start a podcast, to force myself to say things and say well, and then listen to back to it and know where I made mistakes and what I can do to improve. So yeah, that's one of the primary reasons why I decided to start a podcast and eventually move on to YouTube, just so I could get comfortable speaking, being on camera and all that. So yeah, my personal life and me being a quiet person doesn't really transcend that much into my professional, because that's going to hold you back a lot. Yeah, because I've realized a lot of improvements. Because I know how to speak. Like when I'm presenting or when I'm having an interview, like I know how to speak very well. But if you bring that to my personal life, it's like, again, just like what Mantha was saying. If you see me, if you take what you are saying on YouTube or whatever, and you think that's who I am in person, you approach me that, what about because I won't give you that energy at all. But yeah, you need to be able to, again, know yourself, or like Jeffrey was saying, and know what you lack, what you need to improve. You don't need to necessarily change yourself as a human being, but know the distinction between personal life, professional life, and all the different lives you have. And know what is going to hold you back from achieving what you need to achieve, and just improve upon that. You get it? So yeah, I don't know if I answered the question.
Yeah. So for you, as Sam, aside the speaking part, were there other places that you had to like make that effort to groom yourself in?
Yeah. So not necessarily groom myself, but I used to have a blog, and I was very interested in writing back in high school. Was it? It'd be high school, right? Blink Media. Yeah. I was very interested in writing. I almost wanted to be a journalist, but I paused on that for a long while. So I felt like I was very rusty, and so I don't know if you realize sometimes I was writing a lot of articles.
Yeah,
it was just to brush up that skill, so you get comfortable knowing like how to use your punctuations. Writing, getting comfortable writing in full proper English, because there was this time from high school it was cool to write in shorthand. But sometimes when you look back at it, you don't even understand what you wrote. You get it? Yeah. But for me, for now, like I always write in full English, like proper words and everything. Those are things that help you, because you don't want to be in professional setting. Then you start to write pidgin without you realizing, or start speaking pidgin without realizing it. You get it? So yeah, that's what I did. I just started writing articles. I stopped. Maybe I might write one again. I never know, but yeah.
Follow up again. On the UX part of things, what are some of the things you have to improve on?
Yeah, so the UX part, so there was this, I think I went for an interview and I had some designs I did, websites. At that time, I wasn't fully in product design, UX design, UI design yet. And I was presenting the design on an interview and I was like, yeah, so I did this website for this person. And yeah, I put this here, and that is it. Yeah, so like, I was just hoping they would be impressed by just seeing it. So I said, you know, this is the thing they do. Or don't you see who I've done this for? Like the caliber of person I did this for. And I realized now that doesn't cut it at all. So I made a conscious effort to improve my understanding of like psychology behind things and what goes into a design. And that's what led me to sign up for IDF.
Okay.
And I was learning HCI, so I'm very like interested in HCI because I learned things that goes beyond mere visuals. Like you need to understand characteristics of like the human eye, the human brain, how people hear things, like all these, the human being as a organism essentially know how parts of their bodies work, and then how you can design for those bits, and not just say, oh, I use blue because I think blue is nice, or that's a low color theory, blue is trust and everything. Like, yeah, blue is trust because you can see blue, but not everybody can see blue. So if the person is seeing gray might mean something else. So you might be communicating another thing. You get it. So yeah, I made a conscious effort and I signed up. I think you were the one mentioning that you need to sometimes invest money because Ghana for free too much.
I was even coming to that part.
Free too much.
Yeah, I pay for it. I mean, well, I know that time I didn't have a lot of money, so
I think it was like $100.
Yeah,
a year or something like that.
I pay for it, and I learned constantly. So if you go there, you see me. Yeah, constantly. It's learning. Charlie, that's what it is. You just have to invest in yourself.
So, I mean, before I come to you, so the writing part, the speaking part, and then like the presentation part, because then you're not just going to show your screens and just say, yeah, I put this button here, I put this here. That's very, very true, because, I mean, they can already see that I've shaded the system. So, okay, you represent the same thing to them. It doesn't change their mind in any ways. And you mentioned something about psychology, right? Yeah,
understanding. Because, again, just like what you're saying, they're already seeing what you're presenting. So if you're not able to say something that they don't see or know, that's when they'll feel like, design doesn't meet my colors.
Exactly.
Go and do some design rainbows.
So then now you're giving them context,
LGBTQs,
giving them your thought process. And then, okay, beautiful. Some Muslim baby. Rapper, let's go. But by the way, I saw a video recently. The guy was teaching video editing. It was 6 minutes long, and he wrapped the whole 6 minute teaching. I think you can do something like that in design. Sorry, guys. You listen to that thing. Continue.
Content, man, because heading. Now, my baby.
Continue.
So, which one are the answer?
So, like the personal parts, what are some of the investments you made, some of the things you have to make intentionally? You were talking about intentional effort, like intentionally improving yourself. So, look at the personal bits, and then on the design part as well.
So, for me, presentation was, because I was on campus, we did a lot of presentations, so I had to learn. You didn't get. So presentation for me came naturally to me. And how did I know this? I remember we do some work, right? Electrical. We forgo present. If you final year project safe, then we forgo present.
We are group 2 and we are presenting on.
Stop.
Bro, I know, say people they rehearse that. Yeah. One, maybe probably because I invested in building the stuff, so I knew my way around it. I just did bullet points when the freestyle everything.
I stand here in front of you to run the confidently, educationally, in order to bombard.
And that thing, it come in handy to me because I feel present at the spot.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
Highlights.
Yes, I can. I don't mind if there's my first time hearing this. Just as long as I the bar what I want to do, I can hit being light on that and just it. So that's, I think, will probably be my strength. My weakness was probably vocab. So I had to.
So catchy,
hey,
Akawi. I always shock this.
Electric chair. Oh, no, I know you electric chair.
Catchy, sir.
But you see, at that time, then me, I know they see why we force.
None
Go back them. No big kasa ka bro from kachi.
Why?
This guy.
Yes,
What's the problem I could say?
I said, oh, it is my yacht.
So why? So yeah, that was one thing that I intentionally, because I Rexy, although I did spit alright too, but Charlie, some words be if you know some words I they help you they get. So I had to be intentional about it, reading more books. So that's where probably I think I was intentional about the vocab side. And also when I was starting out in the design, before even going to the visual side, I was also binge watching the Chris Doe's videos.
Yeah.
And most of the future. Most of them was business of design. So that also helped me a lot. Because then, as I know my way around the visuals, combining those two, talking to clients, yobbing them, bro, I pick up early. So it really helped me in terms of the way I go about my negotiation and all that, right? Although sometimes I lose client then, but then I have a way of going about it. Initially, I start, then I go too hard. Then, so sometimes I experiment. Whatever I read on, learn on the future. If I get client, I will try experiment and see if it will work or it no go work. If it backfire,
You learn something.
I learned something. So one thing that I learned the hard way was my portfolio was not good enough, yet I did charge me.
It's good you saw it yourself.
Oh yeah. So then what I had to do, that's why I'm saying you being intentional about your good, right? I had to take pro bono works. Just
to build the
cut
portfolio.
exactly. So if you come, or if you tell me, you will give me 1K, no problem, I will work for top.
Yeah, and I think that's the opportunity most of the people starting don't realize. They think your first, it might work for you that way, but
Everybody wants to.
wants remote work that's giving them 50K the first. No, my
you
first
start from
job was
somewhere.
paying me $80, and back then that was like 5 years ago. Then dollar no reach. I think it was like 60 back then, so you can do the math.
I tell you, my
never-
my first job.
Then it come I literally even went back again. Come 1,005, went to 1,000 city, went to 2,500. Like
You the end that much. You know how much I got at the end. You go cry.
500.
Wait, 500.
Wait, 200.
Like 100 or 150 or something. Yeah.
I think you start I mean, the time I climbed the market is that at least people get money small. You understand?
Yeah.
And did work for one guy. I remember he ran away. And do you even know how much I charged him for that? It was 500 CD. And that time was when we were using XD. So I sent him the file. He got the design. He didn't pay me, but he was using it on his website. You know, so some of these things will happen, and then gradually you can't. But most of the people right now, remember the tweet we saw on Twitter, the guy that was charging the 50K. I don't know if you saw it. I'm not sure you saw it. You're not on Twitter then. This guy was in school and was charging 50K for a project. I think it was the, you know, Siam? The one that I tagged you, know. Yes, the one that text him.
Yeah.
And the recruiter texted him. He wanted to confirm him for still in school. He said yes. The guy's negotiation was like, oh, we can do 20K. You move from 50K and come to 20K. What kind of, you know? But yeah, you just have to start from somewhere. And I think everybody, 150 CD. Or you know the carry on?
Me.
That one's
So me, my own day be big, boom.
Oh yeah.
It be 800.
Be you NSS.
Then no, you know be NSS. I talk from design.
Yeah, from design.
From design, it started with 800. You see, I tell you, say bring some first client. I feel Roslyn or Swoosh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So that
guys,
one was
please know
800.
yourself.
Once we are on a charge.
Know yourself. Know
At
where
that
you are.
point, which
And charge the right amount.
At that point, make I tell you something. So Sam brought the client, and I charge 800. I go be so fana. How much did they charge? He say, oh, then in least be 2,500. I say, right.
You are not charged big.
Oh, but then also, like I said, at that time to you for where your body, where you did,
Yeah.
they get
So you need because I mean one of the projects that paid me thousands of it, this guy I've worked with him like 5 times. You understand? And he comes now, he knows okay, the Reagan back then is not the Reagan back now. I'm not going to pay him thousands of it. So sometimes you need to take that project to build that relationship. And I think Sam, we're talking about it on the interview where you were talking about relationship. Yeah, people look at the short term too much.
Too much.
You understand? Too much. The long term goals is heal. There's
This rain no go spoil all that thing.
guys, sorry, it's raining. There's this client. Hopefully. There's this guy that I worked with 2 years ago. I think he was paying 1,005. Recently, he came for a project. That was like 2 years later. He comes and then he doesn't even ask me how much I'm going to charge. He just gives me the and it's something that was wild. Like it's not something that I would have even mentioned. You understand? And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. But you just get to that point where now they see the value and then they can, meet you there. Do you want to say something before we continue? Okay, I mean, just to answer the question I asked you guys. Just to answer the question I asked you, I think for me, I didn't like speaking when I started, and I didn't know design was something. It was one of the reasons why I took design, because I thought I just have to do the screens, just share it with you. I mean, you can see the thing, you know what to click, but then you get in there and you realize that no, you have to defend whatever you're designing and all that, right? And speaking is one thing that will help a lot of designers, like you were saying, being able to job the clients, right?
Articulate,
vibe them.
That's where you make the money.
Yes.
Yeah, there was this project that one guy linked me to. We're meeting some people. It was a church. We were meeting like the heads of the church, right? Now, first impression, we got there late. So I knew that I had to do something. So when we got there, I just apologized, like, oh, it's fine. So we got there, we were presenting. Before we got there, we had done our research on their, like, they wanted to get a website and everything. So we had done their research on the website and realized that their other churches were doing something they were not doing. So now when we were presenting to them, we were letting them know that these churches are doing this and this and this and that. You are not doing this and this and this and that. So we realized that the man was just nodding his head. We went there to design a website, right? After the presentation and everything, the man was so convinced. He was like, I think I want you to add a mobile app. Just from talking. You understand? Just from yobbing him and then showing him some of the things that, so as a designer, I need to be able to yob. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to lie.
You're just selling yourself.
Yeah, you're just selling yourself. I mean, that was, me myself, I was even shocked because I was just talking and this man was sitting there, he was just nodding. When he finished, he tapped the screen, I was like, Charlie, you were chill, like, we did behind, you understand? He has realized that this is what the competitors are doing, So, yeah, we are wrapping up. Anything you want to add before production manager?
Then
I always mention your name.
and they can't talk about the articulating bits. I think that's one crucial skill, like designers. Aside you knowing your visuals, you knowing your fundamentals, gestalt principles, design principles, like knowing those fundamentals, theories, whatever. Articulating them is very key because definitely you'll be presenting a lot.
Yeah.
That is something that maybe probably most people when they start don't know. They think it's just showing the design. That's pretty much it. But then you'll be presenting a lot. Why did you choose this color? Why is this layout like this? Yeah. Why are you going with this? Like you'll be defending a lot of your designs, and that's where your intentionality, you doing your research, knowing why you are doing it in a certain way, not doing it because, I feel say it be nice, we'll make a just, but at the end you go defend them, you get. And one thing that I keep doing most often is when I'm presenting, I give context,
background,
bro.
Yeah.
So although maybe it's just a change, but then before I will explain finish, you know why I did it that way, right? So one of my recent designs that I did, it wasn't really a massive change. It was just changing the hierarchy, right? So it was just sections, but then I changed. So the sections, to give further context, the sections you have like donor profile, right? So donor, you have your address, then you get your donation, the amount you donate, then also if ticket you do event or something, where you buy for ticket, the ticket amount today. Initially, what they do is say your donor name day, but then the billing address then says it did down there. So what you go see probably be the donation bits and the ticket information bits.
For the billing address.
So what I had to do was just change it because the billing is more the very first one, which be the donor information. Then the donation, which be the amount, they correlate more with the ticket information because that's also amounts attached to the ticket.
Okay.
They get. So just that change alone, telling the reason why we need to change it and why it's causing that confusion, because sometimes people don't know, say, this particular thing, they relate to this. If they are working on an admin, you come, they make some changes. You don't want to work on the donor, but see where in billing address they. So sometimes where you go forget, say you go work on the billing address.
Yeah.
You get it. And that change alone, telling them why there needs to be some association with it, and why the fact that it's far apart, they create that association. And we all know the Gestalt principle where things that are grouped together, they feel
Perceived to be one element.
Exactly. So if the space be way bigger, obviously people will assume say it the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So knowing your stuff and knowing how to articulate it, explaining your thought process behind why you went with a certain route is way better than going, I felt I need to do it this way.
Yeah.
At that point, if somebody come, where he gets solid reason why they go with a certain route, they will pick that person's decision or whatever the person chooses. And that's why sometimes when I see a final design coming out, maybe a brand idea or whatever, I'm not quick to bash.
Because they have their reasons.
Because there's a lot of decision making going on before the final thing came out.
Yeah, I think that was what 1000 was talking about, that you put something out there and maybe people are giving you feedback. Sometimes when they get to see the
content,
the
then,
process and everything, then they now
understand
why it's here.
And
if they give you a reason why maybe this could have been better, then now you can say, that's very, very true.
And one thing I also reck about is the downside to this is it could be bad, right? But maybe probably the designer on board couldn't explain or defend why they should go with a certain route. So eventually, the one that was more vocal or was explaining or had more, will obviously overtake your own. So sometimes it's not necessarily it's being the right decision out there. It's a matter of who was able to communicate
who was loudest.
Yes. So as designers, it is something always constant battle with negotiating with your stakeholders, your PMs, engineers. Because engineers, you foresell the idea, give them. Sometimes they'll be like, this need to be work. I make a code distance or. But then if you explain your thought process, you know why you are going with it, this route, and they eventually get it. It's very easy for them to implement because we are all working towards making this product great. And if this thing didn't make sense to them, it's worth making this investment in it.
Yeah.
Do you get it? So for me, articulating your thoughts, Charlie. I'm one key.
The right book. Anyways, guys, we didn't want to make this podcast long. Final thing, I wanted us to touch on that, but no. Final thing is, please, the money part. I think you come to that point where you have to invest in courses, resources, and all that. Don't be prepared. If you have to save to get it, save. Because if it's party, you go. What be some of this? Okay, let me not mention.
If something they hear you go
save. So I think you definitely come to that point. Maybe at the beginning you get the free courses on YouTube and all that, but then someone mentioned IDF, there are some courses that will give you extra stuff. Just pay for them. You understand?
But IDF be solid though.
Yeah, very, very solid. I think you should.
Come and sponsor us.
Yeah. Why did you say like you want to say it? Alright, guys, come and sponsor us. Alright, guys. I hope you learned a thing or two. We'll catch you in the next one. The junkies here. Bye.
Final Design Conference. FinalDesignConf.com. Yeah, August 3rd, 2024.
Point HQ.
Yeah. There may or may not be an Easter egg in this video. So if you found it, good luck. If not, better luck next time.
I'm gonna be there. Alright. Now what are you doing plenty with your hand?
Au revoir.